Welcome to the Holiday Home Tour. I'm Sabrina Pearson. For 21 years, Londoners have embraced both the cause of the tour and the talents of local designers. This year we feature 4 beautiful London homes. So sit back, light the fire, sip on some hot cocoa, and snuggle in as we take you to the city's West End.
So when you walk into the door, everything is in silver again. Silver candles, silver crystal candle holders, but around them crystal balls, silver, and it's just in a bowl, very simply put, with some dripping of garland. And then straight in from the front door, there's an antique pew that the homeowners own, and I put all gold presents on that. And under the trees, every one of the trees has gift wrap boxes, very formal. Some areas are in gold, some in red, but just to match the area of what I'm doing in each house. But, sometimes I get up around 4 o'clock in the morning and wrap Christmas presents, empty boxes. So in the living room, I've chose celadon green as the color. The tree is 7 foot, and gold balls, celadon green poinsettias, and then very small accents of gold to tie it all in with the gold that's on the floor. The gold presents are totally in golds. And then on the mantle, I chose the same color of poinsettias, ribbon, and then put some feathers into it. So it ties in nicely with the homeowner's antique theme. The master bedroom is very sort of a soft green, so it was a difficult color to work with, but I was over in Venice last year and got the idea of using masks and peacock feathers on the tree, so it really tied in beautifully with the homeowner's house. So I put 24 masks on it, gold balls, a lot of silver, and then masses of peacock feathers. And I glued each one to the stem of the tree, so it looks quite interesting. So in the dining area, I work with Mary from Dining Elegance pretty well exclusively every year. And on that table, it's cream tablecloth, gold and white dishes, star-shaped. And on the table center, that's one that I had made of magnolias and silver spikes. And then on the cabinet, there's just Christmas trees and the 3 wise men that a friend of mine personally made for me. And I've just put Christmas trees around them in silver. And there's a bit of gold trees also. So you first see on the counter, it's a beautiful marble, but I put on a Williamsburg look of fresh apples, nuts, and pears on a whimsical stand with a pineapple on the top for friendship and hospitality. And the dishes on that counter also are by Mary from Dining Elegance, all done in red and white. And then following that to the back of the house is a 7-foot Christmas tree done all in red poinsettias, pretty well, that's the only color onto it. And on the side wall, I put up a wreath that matches that. There's also dried antique feathers into that, very old feathers. So it made more of a farm look to it. And going around the corner, there's about a 4-foot tree sitting on some boxes, but it's all done with the antique Santa Clauses, candy canes, very nice for a young person. So over the years, the glass blocks have been very popular. So one of my customers here in London has connections with the royal family and a few entertainers. So Queen Elizabeth has 2 of them, and Elton John has one, his partner has one, and they're all over the world now. So she has such good connections and sends them there as a gift. Well, I sort of wander around the whole house first and then come back and decide on colors. I photograph the area that I'm going to be doing, and then just decide over a period of time whether I need new garlands and that type of thing, and new colors of a ribbon, and just go from there. Well, I've been a huge supporter of the Children's Hospital, so when the opportunity came, I can't even remember who asked me to do the Holiday Home Tour, but I went on board, and it's been 21 years ago. It's just a passion for me, so that's why I get involved.
Hope you enjoyed our first home. When we return from the break, another beautiful home here in London. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Next up on the tour, designer Debbie Taylor adds accents of metallics and uses traditional colors in this cozy antique-themed home.
In the great room, there's a spectacular tree in there. We used the same colors that were on the tree, the coppers, and we used some beautiful brown stockings that have the artificial fur on them. To accent the fireplace, we put big huge copper candle holders. She had a beautiful unit on the sides of the fireplace where we use copper trees, deer, and vases as well, with a little bit of greenery with the huge pine cones to accent.
So the tree in the great room was kind of the focal point of the house. It's the first thing you see when you walk into the house. So we just kind of wanted it to be really over the top, but still to blend nicely with the colors of the home. Everything that's on it, there's all different colors, from platinum pewters to coppers, touches of chocolate brown, black, and then all the different textures. So furry balls, lots of little birds, feathers, lots of different pattern and textures that went with it.
The master bedroom has beautiful linens on the bed, so we decided just to emphasize those by adding some very large, furry, soft pillows. We also added a pillow to the chaise lounge. It has a beautiful fireplace, so we just put 2 beautiful deer on the fireplace mantle.
Also on the kitchen table, we decided to do presents in every bowl and put the coppery color big bows with the beautiful bird sitting on top. The candle holders, we decided to do 3 of them down the center of the table. We just raised one up a little bit and put lots of greenery down the center of the table to accent the candle holders. The theme in the basement this year, we decided to really go outdoors, bring the outdoors in. And because the color of the walls are so beautiful, they're a gray blue, we brought in huge birch branches and put them in pots, and they're in 3 corners of the room. And then directly behind me, we took birch balls, stars, a big huge birch limb, and stuck an owl on the top with branches coming out of the tree, just to pull it all together. Over the TV unit, I also put a basket with greenery and antlers and some birch bark as well. To highlight the beautiful couch that I'm sitting in, there's cushions that have birds on them with branches on them as well.
The guest bedroom has 2 twin beds, and we decided to do just white in that room because the drapes are white. We put white duvet covers on the beds and decided to add various layers and textures of white. We put beautiful white throws on the ends of the beds, they're from HomeSense, and added soft white pillows, also from HomeSense. We added Christmas stockings to the bed. They came from Bowring. And also there's white furry hot water bottles that are quite adorable, and they're from HomeSense. We put a white lantern in between the 2 beds on the table that did come from Bowring as well, and added some greenery. Also, we put 2 white bears on the table in the corner with some greenery. The bears are from Jayla's store, Nuke and Again. The overall look is a wintry, cozy look. I think any young child would just love to sleep in that room. So
after we saw the home originally in August, we all, Debbie Taylor, Linda Phillips, and myself met to go over what colors we thought would go nicely in the home and to try to bring the richness in of the colors, and just such a lovely property. So when we got together, we talked about the colors and kind of who was going to look after which parts of the home so that it would all flow nicely together. So we kind of picked our prospective parts and went from there.
Working on the holiday home tour means a lot to me. My daughter Brittany who is now 21. She had seizures when she was little. We spent a lot of time at the Children's Hospital, EEGs, just a lot of things that she had to cope with having seizures. The hospital was great. She spent a lot of time, because of having seizures, she had a learning disability. So we spent a lot of time at Thames Valley Children's Hospital, and she has come a long way. She has a job and she's working, and she's going to Fanshawe, and she was very, very lucky. She outgrew her seizures, and if it wasn't for Children's Hospital and all the help that we got from them, she wouldn't be where she is today.
When the Holiday Home Tour returns, we bring you a little bit of nostalgia with our next home. The theme of our next home on the tour is Green with Envy, designed by Brian DeVoe. With that, it's fitting that we begin on the outside of this nostalgic design.
Maria and Wout have created the most extraordinary entranceway with a series of boxwood knot gardens, and at night we had them lit with little white twinkle lights, and it looks absolutely fantastic with spotlights on the urns that are full of seasonal evergreens and artificial fruit and red ilex berries. Another one of our terrific sponsors, Rhoda from Van Horix, supplied us with these tremendous zinc urns that we filled with little cut evergreens from around the property, seasonal ilex and evergreens and an assortment of artificial fruit. We've combined it with a red dogwood twig wreath that you could have for Christmas, or you could also hang. It's just it's a really very natural look. The kitchen and dining areas are definitely the focal points of this house. It's absolutely a cook's kitchen with its European Aga stove and very generous surfaces to prep. Maria does a lot of her own baking, and she takes a lot of pride in the produce that comes in from her own garden. So we took some of her very simple antique containers and filled them with an assortment of cyclamen and fresh narcissus and evergreens, and it just sort of accentuates the kitchen. The dining table, which comfortably seats 12, is full most of the time, and Mary from Dining Elegance provided some of the table settings and combined that with some of Maria's existing Wedgwood. We took her Wedgwood containers and filled them with an assortment of white hydrangeas and jade green roses, and ran the centerpieces down the middle of the table in an assortment of heights. And the Christmas tree is one of my absolute favorites in the house. We filled it with fresh potted white orchids. There's an assortment of mercury glass ornaments on it. Some of them are antique. Laser cut metal leaves. It's just a really, really crisp look, and we really enjoyed doing that one. Maria and Wout have a very generous dining area directly outside of their kitchen, which they and their family use regularly. We took an antique planter of hers and filled it with fresh magnolia leaves, ilex berries, and a selection of artificial fruit. And again, that can sit throughout the entire winter and they'll be able to enjoy it. We used a selection of antique greenhouses throughout the house and a lot of Maria's antique containers, and filled them with orchids and ferns and cyclamen. Just, you know, again, it just brings that fresh element into the house, and you know, again, you could have, these are the sorts of things that you could have all throughout the season. The Christmas tree, which we put in the center of the room, we decided to go a little bit non-traditional and created ornaments out of orchids in pots. So we actually secured the orchids into the tree. We also have cyclamen. In order to make a really great artificial tree, again, all the trees came from Rhoda at Van Horix. To make an artificial tree even better, we added fresh magnolia leaves, boxwood, seeded eucalyptus. They'll dry right in the tree, but it just gives that natural piece. We made ornaments out of carnations, little balls out of carnations, and then we put a selection of antique-inspired ornaments throughout the tree as well. The upstairs sitting room that adjoins the master bedroom is the most glorious shade of blue. And so we decided to really accentuate that. We put the Christmas tree in the center of this room as well. The ornaments are an assortment of vintage ornaments, vintage hand-blown glass ornaments, and we also created ornaments out of Farrow & Ball wallpaper, which is a hand-painted European wallpaper. We created little Christmas trees that are around the base of the tree out of the wallpaper as well.
Brian saw our house and thought it was a great opportunity, you know, for the charity if he would be doing it up, because it was exactly, you know, what he likes in a house. So he thought he could do his best here.
I approached Maria and Wout in the summertime this year and asked them if they'd be willing to put their house on the tour. It's such an amazing spot that I thought people really had to see. You feel like you're in Provence, and they've done this whole place by hand. It's absolutely extraordinary. So with that, we wanted to take a really extraordinary, very casual, French-inspired home and just add Christmas. So everything in here is very natural. That's mostly what you'll find with our decor, is that we use a lot of natural elements and a little bit of glitz. And yeah, that's sort of our theme for this year.
Oh, I loved what he did. Exactly, you know, if I could do it, what I would have done.
I was approached by the gang at Thames Valley about 4 years ago to do the holiday home tour, and I have been doing it ever since. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to showcase what we do, and you know, the kids really do benefit from the services. I know some children personally that do use the center as well.